knowledge in that particular field, they create a working group to study that. There are some people are saying it's very important, it's going to assume great significance in the years ahead, so they want to assess the state of knowledge or the state of thinking that time. And they create a working group. So, and they have about 4-year time period to review literature and find out what is happening in the field, and then they make a recommendation. No, some people are just getting too excited about it, there is not much. Or no, really, it is something that is going to have a lot of meaning and significance in the years ahead, and we need to do more about it. So that's how it works. So 2 years later, then they say, well, now this looks like something very important for humanity and people's health and everything else, environmental health. So they upgraded it, and then they designated International Geological Correlation Program Project number 54, which was given the name Medical Geology. And of course, because of the recognition of geological factors and how it affects the human health. So that got a big impetus from that, and that time they provide you a good amount of funding also to popularize this subject and spread the word in the conference and the symposia and all that. So as I said, when that special project report came, they said, well, now it's really important, so they gave a special project status, and that's when this is an international working group in medical geology was created in 2002, and of course these are some of the key people here. Bob Finkelman was with the US Geological Survey, and he and I have worked very closely on many of the things. Currently, of course, this we may not see very well, I think I'm sorry about that, but I'll come to that. Then of course there was the International Geological Congress that was held in Italy in 2004, I was there, and at that meeting we decided to have an international professional society or group created, and that's how the INGA came into being, and we have got members from 71 countries. That time it has expanded, and just recently, about 2 months ago, I as a chairman of the Geology and Health Division of Geological Society of America, with help from my other colleagues, we submitted our application to the International Medical Geology Association to recognize United States as an active member in the international community of 71 countries or so. So many countries are being a part of this INGA, and as I said, USA just got on that, and we also turned in our application. They had a call for hosting the next international congress, which occurs every other year. So they are having one in 2011 in Italy, and they are issuing a call for the next 23 conference. So we have put a proposal to host it here in the United States. They will, and there are other countries also which are competing. So we'll know the result at the September conference in Italy, which country has been selected. But I have got the word that we are the front runners, so most probably it will come here in the United States. So anyway, so yes, that's a good news, but a lot of work ahead for us. So anyway, so that became a kind of formalized in 2004, and then of course we have been pushing to the Geological Society of America. GSA stands for Geological Society of America. It's the premier society, oldest of course, 1860 or something. That's when it was established. They were in New York. Now they moved the headquarters to Colorado, Boulder, near Denver. It's the premier organization for geoscientists, 23,000 members or so. They have annual meeting and all kind of things every year and a lot of things. So and then within the Geological Society, they have got a number of special interest divisions, we call it, like coal division, petrology, mineralogy, and all kind of division. And so when there is sufficient interest and they see the potential for a emerging discipline, then upon the request of the member, they create a special division, and this is what came into being in 2005. So we were all very instrumental in the creation of that, and currently I'm serving as the chair of that division for this year. Then, as I said, over and above that, specialty conferences and workshops are being organized all over the world to tell people about what this specialty is about and what is the significance and so on. You see this going on in many countries, and this thing is continuing even now. Bob Finkelman was in China again. They had a workshop in Turkey last summer. So this is an ongoing process. I don't want to go into too much details, but United States Geological Survey, which many of you know, is the main federal agency responsible for the mineral and other resources, mineral resources down in the sea and the water resources on the earth. They are the agency charged with that. So they also have created a, what they call, well, they don't call it geology and health division, but what they are looking at is the health aspect of geological materials and processes. Essentially then, it is medical geology that they are doing, but they put together a conference, healthy ecosystem, healthy people in June 2002. There were other ones that came in 2006, and so this is an ongoing thing. Geological Society of America, we had a sectional meeting in Kansas City. I was involved with that. We had a special session on medical geology, but these are very specialized symposium. They are called party symposium, again, organized with Geological Survey, where they give you a budget to invite well-known people in that specialty, and again, discuss the development and so on. So a lot of things are happening. National Academy of Sciences, again, this is a very prestigious group. What they do is that they kind of keep an oversight on all the evolving field. They're looking into the future, like nanotechnology, we know that. They have been looking at it 10, 15 years ago, and what are the prospects, and things like that. Again, the cutting edge disciplines, they are looking at that. And so they had they set up a panel, and they put out a report in 2007 or 8, where this was the title, Research Need and Supporting Medical Geology. Now, they don't have the authority to fund projects, research projects, but what they do is that they make recommendations. And their recommendation is given a lot of importance, to the point that when the budgeting process goes, the National Science Foundation, which is the premier agency for research in sciences, and of course, National Institute of Health, which is the agency for health-related research, they look at the recommendation. And then they prioritize, okay, this year so much money is going to go for medical geology or kidney disease or whatever, nanotechnology. So their recommendation is watched very carefully, and what they say ultimately gets translated to making the fund available to continue or carry on research in those fields. So all these are telling us that, well, this field is really important, and its importance and significance has been recognized to the point that all these things are happening. As I said, some books have come around in 2003, Geology and Health, and then of course this is a kind of Bible in the field, a 700 pages book came in 2005, and then the new one, the regional synthesis. So a lot of things are happening almost every year, and now we have got books, we have got some very good journals where these papers are published. So the point is that this field is now very well established. It's not in the very early stage that people are doing research here and there and nobody knows where it is going to go. It is there, and to the point that many universities and schools have started offering courses in this discipline. In fact, I'm putting together a course for our own geosciences department, and my hope is that this course will also be taken by the students from the hospital here, because that is the biggest challenge we are facing. I mean, in the geoscience community, the importance and significance of this discipline is specialty has been very well recognized. There is no doubt about it. But the challenge is to go across and tell the health professionals that, well, this is another thing that we have to look. Traditionally, they have not looked into it. For them, microscopic studies and virus and bacteria and all, which are important. They are important carrier of diseases and all that, or causes of diseases. But then, think about geological factors also. And many times, this may be the overarching factor for a particular ailment. So your medical trainees and the future doctors need to be aware of this, so that when they are trying to diagnose something, they should think of this possibility also. So that is the hope. So again, coming back to geology, I think I'll use some examples of the processes. Remember, I said that materials and processes are the two key aspects of the broad field of geology that relate to the medical geology or geology and health. So of course we see that earthquake and what happens, all the havoc and volcanic eruption. That is a picture of Mount St. Helens and the cloud of the smoke and ashes and the gases that were released. You can see that. But the question that I posed earlier, that is there any relationship between the earthquake and occurrence of diseases? Well, this is a very hard name, I cannot pronounce it, but you can do it. You have my salute to you. That's almost a medical term. So we'll use the word valley fever.
Is that Latin?
It must be, Latin or Greek, I don't know.